He says, I had to really think about this for a while. I listened to all of Messiah Matters shows and feel like you and Rob definitely talk about these issues a lot. So to clarify, when referring to the sign, I think we answered a question. He says, when referring to a sign, I was speaking about the Sabbath. Is it possible to be in covenant relationship and still believe that the Sabbath was changed? I would say yes. I think they're wrong, but I would say yes. I guess to further drive the stake in, does it even matter? Yes, it does matter. I was raised Southern Baptist, and my father is actually a Southern Baptist preacher. He claims that I am just, quote, trying to win arguments because I won't attend church on Sunday as the Sabbath. I don't go around arguing with anyone, but it is my actions that he has a problem with. So if the Sabbath isn't a salvation issue, and it's not a covenant issue, I don't think I'd agree with that. It is a covenant issue.
It is a covenant issue. It reminds me of, like, I've been reading a lot in 1st and 2nd Kings, and you see where, each of these kings rises up, and it's like, and they did all the evil of, Jeroboam, right? They walked in the same ways, evil. But then there'll be a king that returns to the Lord, but doesn't destroy all the high places. Like, in other words, like the author of the king's account is, which might be Jeremiah, or it's a contemporary of Jeremiah, that is saying, look, that compared to like Ahab or whatever, right, there is a move towards covenant embrace. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not complete. It wasn't a complete embrace. And so if I were to kind of like look through the Bible to find like, what's a model, what's a template that might help me understand, like, to be able to say, yeah, the Sabbath is a covenant issue, but there are genuine believers, it seems, that don't embrace it and fully. And so could that Rob, be a helpful way?
Isn't all sin a covenant issue?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, I mean, the question would have to come down to the idea of, does a person still sin? And the answer is, of course, we all still sin. So all of us have covenant issues. Now, we've talked many times on this show specifically about the idea that just because a person has been taught a misinterpretation of the Bible does not make them no longer a covenant member. There are plenty of people who are, and this doesn't make it right, by the way. In fact, there's a whole section of the Torah that talks about unintentional sin sacrifices. Well, why would there be unintentional sin sacrifices unless there was unintentional sin?
Because they did something and then they learned about it after the fact.
Exactly. And so my point...
And so it's still accounted. Yeah, like they have to give a guilt offering, right? It's like, so yeah, that's
But the point is
here's
just...
another aspect is...
Go ahead.
The social, just because society is ingrained in like ruts of behavior that are contrary to your convictions about the covenant, that's how, I think that's how God, when he's writing his Torah on our hearts, like he gets us to differentiate ourselves from the world, and that's necessary. And that means that beautifully and wonderfully is part of a deeper trust in a relationship that God is building with us, building us to participate in, which means not that you could say, oh, I have greater shalom and greater joy, but for me, I remember when I was started, wrestling through these things, I didn't have peace.
Right.
Like I could say, yeah, I love the Lord, but man, there's stuff in the Bible I just don't have peace about, because some people are saying this and some people saying this other thing. And I'm not just going to bury my head in the sand. I'm not going to just play dumb or ignore it or pretend it's not an issue. It's like my love of God and my desire to my conviction that the Bible is true, and my observation of weirdness in the world. Like, what direction do you go? You go towards the Word. And when something has to change, it's not the Word that we're going to change, because we're supposed to build on rock. Yeah, we want to build on rock, not on the sand. And in the world, you see shifting sand, So, but at the same time, like Murray's pointing out, not everybody has the convictions in this at the same time, in the same way that I, maybe now over half my life, maybe about half my life, I've been convinced that the Sabbath is a thing. But the first 25 years of my life, I just believed what I'd been taught, right? So there's other people who are like in that same part of the story. It doesn't mean they're rebelling.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.